Hello, welcome to the Becky and Boca Show. I have a very interesting couple with me here tonight, Jewel and Steven Zellman. And I have interviewed Jewel before.
Yes, you
I have not interviewed Steven.
No,
so I'm
you have
thrilled
not.
to have the two of you.
He's very
here together.
entertaining.
I know.
At least I entertain myself a lot.
He entertains
really-
himself. He definitely
I've
entertains
been
me.
looking forward to this show because I was at your
Shaken
big
Not
event.
Stirred.
Shaken
Yes.
Not Stirred. That was fabulous. That
We had
was
a great
really,
time.
Really nice event.
We were so
CMC.
happy to have you there.
Thank you. And I know you have another event coming up this weekend.
We do.
I don't know
Well,
if
it's
you
not
wanna
really
talk about it
our event. We're kind
But
of
you're
we're a
involved.
sponsor
Okay.
of the event. So it's Bill DeBilzen is hosting a party, a
white party.
barefoot,
A white party.
Yeah,
a
white
barefoot
party.
in the moonlight white party at his home in Lantana. Actually, if anybody would like to go.
They have to
if
contact you.
You have to
Okay,
contact
yes.
me.
Otherwise
so
you can't get in.
text
Nope.
561-779-5485. 561-779-5485. And I will give you all the details. And it's the first 200 responders that get to go. Live reggae, food, alcohol, cash bar, which is being donated to the Special Olympics. And the sponsors are Engel and Volkers.
Okay.
ZLMN, Zellman Style Interiors, us, Hoi Poi Winery, and that might be, and DeBilson, of course.
Okay.
And I think that's the main four sponsors.
And no creepy,
All right.
no creepy text. She's married.
There you go. And there's so live reggae, fashion, all kinds of fun stuff.
If you can't
all
have-
kinds of DeBilson artwork.
Okay, cool.
You
Yes.
can't have fun there. You're not going to have fun.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
this is gonna be a fun night.
All right. Well,
This
hang on
Saturday
your
night.
last one. That was a great party.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now I want you to tell us about you because I know you have Zellman Style Interiors.
Yes.
But I've been a little confused. Are you a builder or are you just interior design? What
Just
exactly?
interior
I mean,
design.
Shame
Just
on you,
interior
Becky.
design.
Okay.
I was under the impression you were a developer also, but no.
No, no.
Okay.
No, we're not a developer.
Okay.
I'll start and then you kick in.
Of course you will start. Of course you're going to start.
I am a talker, unfortunately. Okay, so
We got the whole show.
I want to start this off by saying there's a big misconception that I have discovered in all my conversations with clients, realtors, developers, everything. No, really clients and realtors.
Okay.
Between a decorator that calls themselves an interior designer and an actual
Yes.
interior design
Okay,
company.
I would see where that would be confusing.
Right. So
Okay.
a decorator just decorates. So they take a finished space that a builder and a contractor have completely finished, and then they decorate it.
Right. Okay.
We actually work with architects, blueprints, floor plans, and we
Okay.
actually design the architectural details and so forth. We manipulate ceiling details, floor details, walls,
Okay, that's
stairwells,
what it
etc.
is.
Built-ins.
Built-ins. We oversee the entire process. The contractors work under our umbrella. We
Mm-hmm.
oversee and supervise the entire project, and then we obviously once we're finished with that, we actually design the interiors of the inside. So
Wow.
there's a huge
Okay.
difference.
Yeah, an interior designer, all right, does everything.
Right.
Puts it all together. A decorator just
Right.
puts furniture in. And the biggest part of interior design is the backgrounds.
Is designing
Absolutely.
the space,
Okay.
right?
So you're involved while the house is being
Correct.
built.
Correct.
Absolutely, from concept to completion.
Yeah, most times
Okay.
even before, because it's
Yeah.
while that's happening, we actually do the lighting plans. Like right now, we're doing a home in Deerfield where we're doing all the plans right now for the ceiling details. We just came from the office. Ceiling details,
fun.
lighting
Right.
plans, everything. Where the fireplace is going. It's a two-story. On the water, two-story fireplace that we're doing, and we're putting in what we're doing there with the lighting, so we can have agate
Right.
going
boy.
up the walls.
It's actually a fun project, which we will give a shout out to. Ellish Builders is doing I think it's six homes, and it's Deerfield Island. I didn't even know Deerfield
that?
really had an island, but
In the
it is.
Intracoastal?
It is.
Yeah.
It's sort of a if an
Oh, I
intracoastal
know
could have
where
a
it is.
cul-de-sac.
Is it a little bit
it has
north
a cul-de-sac.
of Hillsborough?
It's a little bit north of Hillsborough.
Yes.
Yes.
So you enter
Yeah.
it from Hillsborough
Yes,
Boulevard
you-
Right.
east.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I knew that area
And
was
it's a
there.
small
Yeah.
area.
Right, and the homes are going to be spectacular.
Wow.
So if you are in the market for a new home, this is one of many projects that we have going on right now. But Now that you brought it up, I thought it was only fair to give him a shout out. So Elish Builders, whole new project, and we are the design team. So we would love to meet with you if you're interested.
Wow. And how many homes are they putting in there?
Only 6. That's one project that we have going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And now I also know you two are recently married, correct?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
It's about to be 1 year.
Yeah.
And can you tell me how you two met?
Wow.
Oh, this is
Wow,
just.
that's an interesting story.
Yeah, it is actually.
Well,
that's a good dirt one.
All right.
Okay.
So we actually were thinking about making a commercial for them, but we met on Match.
We'd like to
On
do it.
Match.com?
We met on
We
Match.
did. We met on Match.
And Julie was not even in the country.
I wasn't. I was away doing business for Roxy Lulu.
But you were from here?
Yeah.
I was living in
Okay.
Florida. I was actually living in Delray Beach. I was living in Worthing Place, downtown Delray, renting. And I was in Scandinavia. And I was having meetings for Roxy Lulu in Scandinavia.
And Roxy Lulu is?
Roxy Lulu was, for 10 years, my design firm for fashion.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
So I was having meetings over there. We met on Match. We started sort of conversing, and we spoke on the phone. And then we literally started to talk every single day. And then finally...
Via text.
Via text,
but
really.
we didn't meet for a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're kidding.
We did not.
So by the time we met, we really knew
each other.
everything about each other. And we kind of felt like, I actually had already fallen in love with him.
Aw.
Just by text.
And she had no plans on coming back yet. So what I did was I called her up, and I had already booked flights to go to Paris. And I said,
Oh, my
and for
goodness.
a weekend,
Yeah.
I said, I'm flying to Paris for the weekend.
Wow.
And she said, no, I don't want you to do that. She goes, I'm coming home.
I said, well, what if you don't like me? What if you get there and you're disappointed or something? I don't want you spending the money.
Yeah.
And so anyway, long story short.
We didn't do any FaceTime or anything else. So
nothing.
we had never seen each other.
Never
Wait
actually,
a minute.
never,
other
ever
than some
swear.
promotional pieces. I mean,
Yeah.
I looked her up a little bit. She looked me up a little bit. So
We looked up each other's business, and
Yeah.
each of us had an existing business video, and that's all we saw.
Wow.
And the rest was just
Why
talking
didn't
and
you exchange
texting.
photos?
Well, we saw the photos on Match. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. And then literally we met the night I flew home.
Wow.
And
I had said to her, if it's important enough, you do something. You make it happen. And that was why I was going to Paris.
Right.
So when she was coming home, she was flying in, and getting in at like 10 o'clock at night.
yeah.
And I said to her, so we'll meet the next day. She said, no, somebody once told me if it's important enough, you make it happen.
Yeah.
So I'll meet you. I'll meet you tonight. And we
And
met
that
at
was
night.
it, and we met.
as we went from place to place in Delray, everything was closing on us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's pretty
But
Yeah.
we fell in love right away.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
And so he held me. He said, "The only thing I expect is a hug." And then after that, whatever happens, happens. So we gave each other a huge bear hug, and he put his hand out, and I put my hand out, and we held hands, and we've been holding hands ever since. Wanna
Oh,
hold my
that's
hand?
fantastic.
Well, you said that, so now we have to hold hands, right?
So you're one of those
Yeah.
couples you can see the chemistry between the two
Yeah,
of
and
you.
we could feel it. We really could feel it
Yeah.
from a distance, just through our language, just
So do you
through
think it's something
how I
that's
thought he
just you
thought.
just happen to have chemistry for each other, or is it something you created with your
We're very similar.
conversations?
We're very first of all we're both artists, so we
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
we're artistic backgrounds.
We're
And,
both super real,
yeah, we're both very sensitive.
super real. Yeah.
We both are a little bit gullible.
Yeah, we're both a little naive.
we
Yeah.
protect each other.
Probably not a thing to say on air, but
No,
yeah.
but,
help each
but,
other.
but, you know,
Yeah,
but we
I love
protect
it.
we protect each other.
Yeah.
We're, so we have a lot of similarities, and it really was what attracted us to
Yeah.
each other. Is that we would write things to each other, and she was like, I can't believe you just wrote that.
Yeah,
I was
like
thinking
we
the
were
same
thinking
thing.
the
So
same-
you're very
yeah, and it
similar.
was-
That's important.
Yeah. And I think we're both very soft people, and I think when you are a soft person and you are you're very compassionate and you're very caring, when you meet people that are harder and you meet people that are colder, it's you feel a little vulnerable and you feel a little scared, and it's easier to get close to someone that you have a warmth with and a vulnerability
Absolutely.
with, because you feel safe. And I think both of us recognized that immediately in each other, and it was a turn on. Whereas for some people that might be a turn off, and it might be construed as a weakness.
No, the two of you are great together. You look great too. So
thank you.
Thank you.
something
very
but I
much.
can see the chemistry. That's
It was
really
great
Yeah.
because we saw with your advertisement on Facebook, and it actually said power couple. So
Yeah.
I felt like a superhero.
Yeah.
I was ready to come with like a big Z on my.
power couple. You two are movers and shakers in South
We make
Florida.
things
You
happen.
have this wonderful business. You help out a lot of charities. You
Yeah.
do all these events.
You know, we're passionate. We're passionate people about what we do, and I think we genuinely love people, and I
Yeah.
think we genuinely care. Like I said
Right.
before, we're compassionate people. So we love to get involved with things that make a difference and that matter, and we love to make things beautiful. So when we can use our creative energy to create beauty, and we can use our hearts to create something that's heartfelt and better and make a difference, that's a great combination, and we like to do that a lot. Or as often as we can.
Yeah. Well, I think you two are very successful. I know that.
Thank
So.
you. Yeah. We just
Seen
moved
some of your-
office.
We just moved
Oh
on.
yes,
Yes.
you were telling me that you're
Yes.
now right in downtown Boca.
We're
Right.
down. We're in downtown
We're
Boca.
at 374 East Palmetto Park Road. We actually took a freestanding building.
Yep.
Glass front. It's
Right.
right next to Luff's.
Loves
Loves,
Fish House.
Fish
by
House.
Trattoria
Across the street from
Romana.
Trattoria Romano. Everybody
Yes.
knows where that is.
Yes, we're in the
Yeah.
middle of all those restaurants, so
yeah,
it's great.
That's a great
So
location.
we've, we've gained about 5 pounds
I was
in 2
gonna
weeks.
say,
We've
Yeah.
We've gained
I actually literally did.
And Love's is owned by the same owners that own
Yeah,
Trattoria.
it is.
And then
And
you got the
Nouvelle
French
Maison.
place across the street.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They,
So you could
they
just
own
go.
the wall. Yeah.
You
Oh,
could eat
there's
every
the
day
whole,
of the
and then we
week.
have the tin
Yeah.
muffins so if you want lunch. So,
Yes.
So so we pretty much eat all day now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
was
do.
gonna say-
We stopped designing. We stopped designing. We become food critics.
Exactly. We're now
What
food
a
critics.
great location.
Yeah, our whole
Yeah.
team is super happy
Yeah.
because and they've never left the office as much as they do now. Like we constantly see them walking in. We're like, where are you going? Oh, there's a new cool
Yogurt place.
restaurant.
You
Yogurt.
can walk everywhere from there.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
you really
Yeah.
can, and you can walk to the beach.
Right.
And so we love that. Yet to start doing the path at the end of the road, there's a gorgeous. Thank you, City of Boca Raton.
What new
because
path?
well, it's not a new
It's a new
path.
path.
Oh, you mean
it's
on the
path
beach?
along the
It's a
ocean.
path down by the
I
beach.
jog
You
that all
love
the time.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I've been
love
doing
that
that path for
path.
25
God
years.
bless her, she
Yeah.
jogs it. We just
I know.
walk it. We just
Walk
walk
it like-
it. We walk it and we're
fast
exhausted.
pace,
The one that goes up and through the
Yes.
golf course
Yes,
and next to the ocean.
we love that.
Then it goes on to the boardwalk. It
Yeah.
is beautiful. No, we're very fortunate in Boca Raton because the city bought all that property, I think, in the 60s. So that nobody could develop it.
Right.
You can't get a hot dog out there, but you don't have any
But you
businesses
can, and I
along the
gotta
beach.
say,
and
it's a really beautiful. It's all the different towns have different attributes, but I really love that one attribute of
Yeah,
Boca
it's very natural
because
there,
it is
very
like
pretty.
a sanctuary. And I used to. When we used to live across the street from our new office
Palmetto
now
Promenade.
in Palmetto Promenade, and
Oh,
when we
is
lived
that the tall?
Yeah.
it's that big monster of a gorgeous building. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
got great
You said it, a
amenities.
monster, isn't
It's a monstrous building, but it's an
Put the
absolute
hand down. You won't see-
yeah. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. But it's a beautiful building, and we loved living there. The amenities were amazing, but every morning at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, I used to get up, and I used to do a 5-mile walk. And
Wow, where'd you go?
That
I
part of
just
it?
made myself
Over
a
to the
route.
beach and-
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
path was part of my 5
I used to do
miles.
that whole loop.
Yeah.
You know, over the Palmetto Park Bridge up
Yes.
to Spanish River.
I did the same
back and
exact
on. That's
one.
about a little over 5 miles.
Yep, that
Yeah.
was exactly
Yeah.
what I did.
Yeah.
But I used to walk the path and incorporate that in and do all those things. And I miss it because we moved to Del Rey, and now I don't get my tushy out of
well,
bed
now you
in
can go
time.
from the office
and down. Yeah, so now I think when I just go to the office early,
You got to shower though.
do the whole thing.
I would start with the same thing, but then I'd stop at play a ball and
Kill
go back home, right?
exactly. Big acai bowl. I don't know.
so I walked
They're
a quarter of a
healthy,
mile.
but I don't know how skinny they are.
But there
you
is
know.
no place to get food from Palmetto Park Road all the way up to Spanish River, so that's good.
That's
yeah,
true.
there
That's
is
true.
Once you start
They've
that
got
walk, you
they've
can't.
got the market on that there. Yeah.
No, that was, I think it was the Women's Club from the city of Boca back in the 60s that convinced the city to buy all that property.
Smart move.
Smart.
There's
Very
a
smart
couple
move.
of condos and a house or two on the ocean, but most
Right.
of it
Yep.
is natural.
Is just a preserve,
and
yeah.
no commercial properties at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
have to say I love
Yeah,
it.
and
I really do.
I think 3 or 4 parks along there that are just beautiful.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where if you actually do it, it's such a great way to begin your day. because I just feel like it
Right.
centers you.
It's
it really
not real
is.
hot
It's
in the
like
mornings around
no,
here.
it's not really hot. You have all the sounds of nature. There's all kinds of little friendly creatures.
Oh, yeah.
along the path with you.
There's big
You
spiders
see
in that park. You
I
ever
know,
see
there
those?
are. There's
Hang down for the
major
black
webs.
widows.
Yeah, they're really cool though. But no, it's just a really great, very zen, very meditative way to begin
Right.
your day, and then you're energized from the
Right.
trees, from the ocean, from everything. So we love
Good
it.
exercise, too.
Yeah,
Great exercise.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this facility you have there on East Palmetto Park Road, it's a design studio? People can come
It's
in
a design
and...
studio. When you walk in from the street, we're actually going to have two 65-inch TVs that are going to be floating. And
Showing
it's going to show our
showing
work.
projects that are
And our
going
logo,
on,
and the different
yeah.
projects we're working on at the time.
Yep.
In the window, there's also, we have a beautiful conference room with a what is it? Not rectified.
Oh, it's a reclaimed wood
from our friend Howie Kahn, who's
Mensch
Lumber.
Mensch Lumber.
In the
Give
Bronx.
little Howie a shout out.
He had
Yeah.
a company,
Okay.
Brooklyn Reclaim, that he had made
Right.
it for us as a gift.
Right.
He's
wow.
been my friend for 40 years. I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that. We're not that old. I didn't
Come
say
on,
that.
you're only 37.
Nobody ages,
Don't
nobody ages in Boca Raton.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how old you actually
we
are.
try not to.
So
yeah.
we have a beautiful conference room with a gorgeous light fixture that's that we had put up from Beautiful Things, actually.
Yeah.
That helped us with that. And then we did a living room setting when you walk in, and we did some beautiful architectural details,
Oh.
Yeah.
which we're finishing up now.
The inset lighting and
This
recessed
is all in
walls.
your office here?
In
Well,
the
it's,
office.
it's we're building it
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
in the
come by,
front.
you'll see the construction process.
So from the front, you'll see TV, you'll see a living area, you'll see our
Yeah.
conference room, all in that front window.
Yeah.
And then we have office in the back, and we have our library, which we usually always set aside about 1,000 square feet just for a library, just for our resources.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have to be able to have a
Right.
big library, and so that kind of takes up a big chunk of the space.
Yeah, because we do enough business that instead of having to go to the design center in Dakota,
Right.
they actually come to us
Come
and
to
they
you.
supply us. They supply our library with all
Plus,
the fabrics
obviously,
and-
everywhere in the world. So we source manufacturers from all over the world. And I don't
Oh,
know if you
wow.
know this, but we actually do work
all over the world.
all over the
Do
world.
you really?
Yeah. So we're not just a Florida
Wow.
firm.
So,
So
like,
we
like
work
where?
Oh, Lagos, Nigeria. which is-
Nigeria, the
I-
Caribbean.
I
Banana-
knew you were in the Caribbean.
Banana
Yeah.
Island.
Okay.
I did
Yeah.
a job in Banana Island in Lagos, Nigeria, which is a protected island.
You're
which
kidding.
is it's all it's guarded with machine guns and
Oh, boy.
and electric fences all the way around.
Okay,
I
all
did,
right,
no, I'm not going to tell the whole story.
Oh,
but,
come
but it
on.
was
Well-
it was a very interesting because when I got in the car when I first got there, I had somebody waiting for me, and then they had an explanation because they put me in a car. And,
Tell just this part.
Yeah, I'll
Just
tell
this
it.
part.
So they said to me when I first got there, and this is my first trip to Lagos.
Okay.
And I was going to be there for 3 weeks, and because I was doing 2 buildings. And when I got there, they had somebody meet me, and then the driver, which is Tundi, who was a very nice gentleman, and
Right.
he was armed, and he said to me, I just want to explain what can happen in case, because we're driving through through Nigeria before we get to Lagos. And he goes, if somebody ever wants to kidnap you,
Oh my God.
he said
you can't even
they'll either
imagine.
stop a car in front of you or put a log in front of you, and then they'll come from behind you with another car. He said the car is fireproof for an hour. He said we're also bulletproof. He said they will try to first shoot through the window. He goes, and they'll see
This
they
is
can't.
his greeting.
And he said, and what they will do is if they can't, they will set fire to the car. It will get hot in the car. Do not leave
He's
the
like,
car.
don't leave the
Do not
car.
leave the car. It will get hot. That's what they're hoping is that you'll leave the car. He said, but what you do is you just wait because I have an unblockable phone. There will be a helicopter here within 10 minutes. And then we'll get you out. Now, if they do kidnap you for any reason, he said he goes, they're not going to put you in a bad place. He goes, they're going to put you in a room. You'll sit there. He goes, might even have TV. He goes, but they'll put you in a room. They'll ask for $1 million. He said, we'll end up settling between $5,000 and $10,000, and
Right.
it'll all be done that day.
And you'll be
He said,
treated
so-
great.
so you'll be free. He said, you'll be free.
So don't worry.
So he said, don't panic. And I said,
So there's nothing to worry about.
My face was, what do you mean, don't panic? What do you mean?
You just gave me a heart
They're
attack.
going to set fire to the car. That's enough. Forget about the nice room. There's enough to panic about.
There's no design job worth this. Yeah, no, so
Did
yeah.
anything happen?
What? No, nothing happened. But
Oh,
my
my
but my
goodness.
first day there, when I was staying at a hotel called the Wheat Baker, and
Oh.
what happens is
I'd be afraid to leave the hotel after that.
I know,
the light.
right?
Everybody has generators. The people who have these big homes, they're all 10, 20, $30 million homes. They have 10,000 square foot generator rooms. All right, and the generator, because the lights go out 10 to 12 times a day.
Yeah.
While you're there, they continuously go out. So when I was there, I was at the Wheat Baker, and the lights would go out, and then they'd flicker right back on because they had a
Generator?
generator. And during the night, I heard wind blast and everything else. On my first day. So in the morning, the client calls me at 7 o'clock because I'm picking you up right now. The roof blew off my building. I swear, he goes, blew right off.
Right off.
So I went I went to the place and the roof blew off the building.
The building you were supposed to be
The
designing?
building I was going there to do I was going there to measure and do all the work for the backgrounds, because I was working with the architects there to make sure they were doing everything the way I designed it, and I ended up having to redo everything while I was there because they didn't understand the drawings. It's really a different world.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a different world. So I spent
That's
3
just
weeks.
one international experience.
Oh boy.
But that's one of the most interesting. So
Yes, I like that story.
Yeah.
And we just did
So-
we just did a beautiful home in the Bahamas for the late Len Stewart. We finished it a couple of years ago, but he passed away about
Oh,
6 months
okay.
after. But he was the owner of Second City Television.
Oh
Right.
wow.
Yeah, so if you
That,
remember,
which is, for a lot of people don't know, that's Saturday Night Live.
well, it was
Yeah.
the start.
And a
of it,
lot
if
of
you
those,
remember.
yeah.
He actually had
Wow.
negotiated to have his own show in order to give them those actors and to let them use that. He negotiated to get his own show,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
and it was called Fridays, and they got like 3 hours on NBC just to
Yep.
be able to do that, to be able to take Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and now we're about to we actually leave mid-June, and we won't say which hotel yet, but we're going to be doing one of the hotels in St. Lucia.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we're so excited
Wow.
about that one coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun
Yes,
things
there's
going on.
fun things going
your
on.
life sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's a lot of work, but it's
my
fun.
life wasn't always amazing until I met
Yeah,
this
now
lady.
you have
So-
a partner.
Well, I'll tell you, not only do I have a partner, but she has, she got me interested in the Caribbean, because I really wasn't as familiar with the Caribbean. I'd gone to the Caribbean, but she showed me a different side of the Caribbean, because she lived in the Caribbean, and she'll tell you that story now, I'm sure. But she lived in the Caribbean for
We
a while.
only got a couple minutes
and she
here, so-
introduced me.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole other episode.
Okay,
That's a
we
whole
might have
other
a couple more
episode.
minutes here. We're getting a notice here.
Notice.
Shut up! Stop talking.
Maybe 10 more minutes. Can we do
Either
that?
half or, yeah, you can have the whole half if you want it.
Want to do another half
It's
hour?
up to you. I got.
So go to commercial
We got
break.
time if you want to.
Well, I don't know. We can't do like just 10 minutes of it. No. Okay.
I'm in for the half. I guess.
You want to do? You want to keep going? Or you want to?
Whatever you guys want to do. We're easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got plenty of stories.
All right.
We never run out. We never run out of steam. We never run out of steam.
Okay, so we're going to go to break here, and we'll be right back with the second half of the Becky and Boca Show. Okay. All right, we got another half hour.
What happened when they had? What?
I guess there's no one. You've been listening to and watching The Becky and Boca Show. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand Building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065. And now, back to the show.
Yeah.
That's
I think I
important.
mentioned
Okay,
that.
we're back on air now. Second half of the Becky and Boca Show. And I want to talk to you about the Caribbean, because I know you used to
love
live there, and that party Shaken Not Stirred was a fundraiser for the people of the Caribbean.
Yes, you're
And
not
what,
kidding.
what charity is that?
Okay,
Two
so
charities.
it
Yeah.
was two charities for the Shaken Not
Yes.
Stirred. Okay, so I lived in the Caribbean for 12 years, but I have been a frequenter of the Caribbean. I don't know, my whole life. My parents took me there when I was a kid, and I just never stopped going back. And then when I had an opportunity
Any
to run
particular
it,
part of the Caribbean?
really all over the Caribbean, but my
Okay.
very first island was St. Martin. That was
Oh.
the first island I ever went to. And then when I moved to the
Might need to get a little
Caribbean,
closer to that.
I moved to the Caribbean, and I moved there for business. And then I stayed there,
And
and
what
I
was your
opened up
business
a
when
business.
you were there?
I started. I've had a whole. I have a whole history of creative careers that all
Okay.
kind of connect.
Okay.
But I started off in the Caribbean working in advertising, marketing, and public relations, representing the countries of the Caribbean to the U.S. market. And then because I had come from film and broadcasting as my major in school, I started to bring in commercial productions and movies that were looking to do on-location work in the Caribbean. And then it evolved from there. So then we would do segments there, and I was dealing with not only the United States, but Italy, Germany, the UK, because in the Caribbean, it's a melting pot. So everybody comes there from different places, because when they're looking for tropics, unless you're from another part of the world, you're going to go there.
Right, absolutely.
So in any event, that evolved into publishing. And so then I started to get involved with another girl, and we started magazines and 2 TV shows. And then it evolved in the Caribbean. And we did it. And then they ended up being on the shelves in Barnes & Noble and Borders and Indigo and Chapters. And and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And what were the magazines?
We started off with Mako and Destinations and Island Life. And then I started to create Nomad, and obviously the economy plummeted in 2007, 2008, and I kind of lost all the money and all of the effort that I had put into that, and it was just the wrong time to start a new one. I know. Kind of really hurt me there for a while. And then I figured I had to kind of sit still for a little while and figure myself out. So a lot of the fashion that I was showcasing in the magazines, I decided I moved back to Florida. Not back to Florida. I'd never lived in Florida. I moved to Florida because I didn't want to go back to the cold from the Northeast where I was from, because I was from the New York City.
Yeah, you can't live in
New Jersey
a warm
area.
climate like this or the Caribbean and then go back.
Exactly.
I
You just don't want to go
about
back.
that.
Have you done that?
Well,
I could.
he could.
Yeah,
but
you think so?
I love the cold weather.
No, I bet it's not just the cold weather. It's the darkness, the dreariness for months and months when you're used to sunshine.
Exactly. We're
That's
used to
what
being
gets
able
you.
to. I love being able to
in
be
the cold
outside
is
at any
fun.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So-
don't think.
But you know what? All I will tell you is every time I've gone to the Caribbean, she runs into people that Julie, and hugs and kisses, and you couldn't believe.
Jewel or Red. They used to call me Red when I lived in the Caribbean.
That's why you were raising money at the fundraiser for to
so
build homes.
So
No,
so now
that was
I'm
Frank McKinney.
Yeah, so now I
His
am.
incredible charity.
Yeah.
I sit on the board of directors for the Caribbean Tourism Organization, because I've
Right,
really
and you
never
had a
stopped being involved
representative
with the
at that
Caribbean.
party. Okay.
Right. And Selma Brown Bramble was at the Shaken Not Stirred, and she was our director. And so we were raising money for scholarships for Caribbean students that are looking to go on to university that show academic excellence, however, may be missing the funding to be able to do that. So that was part of the money that we were raising, and the other half was for the Caring House Project, which
Okay.
is Frank McKinney's.
That was Frank McKinney's,
Which he
yeah.
started, I don't know, roughly 17, 20 years ago. And that builds homes specifically for families in Haiti.
Okay.
So mine is
Villages.
for all of the Caribbean.
Entire self-sustained villages,
entire
really.
self-sustaining
That was
villages,
interesting.
exactly. And it's a remarkable charity, and it's hugely commendable that he does that. And so ours was for education, and his was for actually building sustainable homes.
Okay.
And we have some scholarships that are set up in.
Yeah, so we have
Zero
we have interior design scholarships.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For a lot of students now in the Zellman Style Interior ZLMN name, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're very proud of that.
We are proud.
and we hope to
Fantastic.
continue to raise more money for them. So, but I love the Caribbean, and one of the things that I wanted to bring to ZLMN was more Caribbean-based projects.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's what I thought you were doing some work
one day
there.
we want to just sail away there.
Exactly.
We just want
sail
that's where we want to
off.
go.
That's
Sail
where
a
you're gonna end up, you think?
catamaran.
That's where we're going to end up. Yes, that's where we're going to end up.
Just disappear into the sunset. Yeah. So we would love to eventually build a home over there. And so we are looking to open up maybe another office based in the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Not big,
Yeah.
just so that when we
We have like a satellite office there.
to have a satellite
Okay.
office, and really so that when we are involved in projects over there, we actually almost like an apartment that we have somewhere to stay. Based in the Caribbean.
I'm looking at our show.
She's
Now you know what you
making
sound
sure
like.
it all goes
Now you know what you sound like.
all goes the right way on Facebook. So in any event, so that's sort of what we're looking to do. And so we're looking at a project in St. Lucia, again in June, and then we have another project that is a possibility that has not been confirmed yet in Anguilla. So, yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
We just
so-
came back from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a great story for you in Anguilla.
Oh,
Our goat
our
story.
goats.
Our goat story.
I want to hear that. Okay.
We are goat savers. Us. We are baby goat savers.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you. Julie loves to go for long walks.
I do.
So she
I
said.
know.
So
She
she
takes
said.
that 5-mile loop around
so
Boca.
I do.
we were staying.
Anybody want to go for a walk?
Where were we staying? What was the hotel?
We were staying at the new Belmont Capjaluca. Capjaluca was an existing hotel, and it was owned by a couple. It was recently acquired by the Belmont brand. They took over Capjaluca and they took over La Semana in St. Martin. And they've redone both hotels. Unfortunately, we did not do them.
Okay.
It was before I even knew about the sale. And so
we were there.
we were there.
And what Julie does every morning
Right.
is she says to me, usually she said, would you like to go for a long walk? And
Right.
usually I say no.
Right. And I usually have like a
So you're a
frown.
walker and you're not.
But
Right,
this,
he doesn't like to
well,
walk
I
with me.
like to be in the gym. I like to work out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I,
he's a weightlifter,
and it's
not a
okay.
walker.
Okay.
And
Walking is just as
no,
good.
I
I
do.
agree.
We're doing some cardio stuff, but
Yeah.
she likes to see scenery, and I just because I
Right.
like to get it over with and go back to work
Quickly. Yeah.
But
Okay.
but so Julie and I said this one morning. I said, sure, let's go.
Right.
So we went and we started in the place we were going to. It was about a 5-mile walk. We didn't
Right.
realize. We thought it was about a 3-mile walk.
Right.
So after
Perfect for you, though.
Exactly. I was ready. I was in for the long haul, but
we gotta go there. And
lightweight
back.
walker over here
Okay.
was
Oh,
out.
Remember, you got to go there and back.
So
So,
10-mile
Yeah.
walk.
so after we
Yeah.
went about
Okay.
3 miles, we stopped at a supermarket.
Right.
a
And
little
they asked how
supermarket,
much
and we
further
got
our
water.
destination
we-
was,
no,
and they said, "Oh, you got a long
No,
way."
he asked, where are you going? And we took, he goes, oh, man, you're brave. You've got a long way to go. And we had
You got
only
a-
gone 3 miles.
Well,
so
people,
we started
wait,
walking
I
back.
have to say, the people in the Caribbean don't walk. It's not a walking community. So
Yeah, we were the only ones on the road.
Yeah, the people kind of look at you and scratch their head like,
Like,
why
why
are
is-
you
why are they
walking
walking?
in this heat? Why are
Right,
you
right.
walking? So
So
anyway,
we were walking back, and as we were walking back, there was a cemetery.
yes.
And there's a cemetery, and one of the
Oh, they have great cemeteries in the
Yeah, they always have cool-
exactly.
cool
So
little
there was a cemetery. There was
tombstones.
one tombstone that had a boat, like a
It
10-foot
was a
boat.
life-size boat.
Oh, you're
So
kidding.
It was.
and it was red
Yeah.
with yellow, and it had yellow poles on it, and all.
Yes.
And it was a beautiful
What?
boat. And we
And the
went,
guy's name was Albert
Hughes.
something,
Albert
Albert Hughes
Hughes.
or something.
Albert
Yeah,
Hughes.
on the side of the boat. And we thought, how cool is this? Let's go take pictures
Yeah.
of this,
so
really unusual gravestone.
so as I'm walking towards it, I hear a baby crying.
We hear baby crying, and
So
we
I said
hear,
to Julie, I said, "Did you hear that?"
and I'm freaking out because the last thing that you want to hear
In a cemetery.
walking through a cemetery is the
Is a baby crying.
sounds of a baby crying, and it sounded like it was coming from a grave. And
Oh, my.
I'm having a heart attack inside, and now the two of us, it's like
And
right
it was-
out of a,
and
right
there's
out of a,
nobody
we're like,
around?
we're
No,
like
nobody
cartoon
around.
characters
Yeah.
walking through, like slowly through the cemetery, trying to find where this crying is
only
coming
when
from.
only when we'd make noise would the crying happen.
Would the crying happen?
So if I spoke, so we
And then-
realized after like 3 or 4 times of the crying that it was a goat.
Well, we figured
It
all of
was
a
a
sudden.
goat.
So now I'm thinking, oh my God,
There's a goat
a
in a grave.
mother goat is giving birth to babies in an open grave, and now we see the
We walk
open
over.
grave.
Oh, no.
We open the
And
grave.
but we can't say,
And
and
there
we
were two
walk
baby
and it
goats
goes down
stuck in the
far.
grave.
And
They fell
2
in?
baby goats had
were in there.
fallen into the. So Stephen and I dropped the stuff from the shop, and we
Jump
jump into the grave. And
Don't
and
say you carried him out.
I didn't. I tried, but they were a little too fast.
And they were heavy.
for me. And they were heavy. And so, funny enough, small but heavy. And so Stephen got them right away, and we kind of pushed them up and out, and then we climbed out of the grave.
And then they stayed with us. They wouldn't leave us.
Stayed with us and hung out with us like puppies. Like doing
Because
a little
usually when you
scratch
save an
and a
animal like that, they run
chin
away.
and-
Yeah, right.
Oh.
They just stayed with
They
us.
waited for you.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God,
stayed
they're
and we-
so cute. And then we were like, how do we bring these home? Like, can we bring goats to the United States? Can we have goat? And then he got really upset because I
don't-
didn't want to tell him.
Don't do this.
No, it's the truth though. I didn't want to tell. I mean, I lived in the Caribbean for 12 years. Goat is a staple food.
Right.
So,
Oh.
we're walking home and I said, honey,
I named them.
we named them Butch and
and
Sundance.
Sundance.
Butch and Sundance.
Butch
Yeah.
and
And I was so upset. You got a little hair on there. I said, they eat goat here.
Yeah.
He was so pissed at me for kind of
Reminding him.
bursting the whole goat saving bubble that you know
Right.
that we were probably saving them and then they were
So they
going
go
to
to
God
slaughter.
forbid.
But in the meantime,
Yeah,
Becky,
and-
I'm going to tell you something. I told Julie, as we're walking back, I said, this story is going to evolve and change over the
Oh,
years.
yeah, next
In-
10 years?
In 10 years, it's going to be we're at midnight.
Yeah.
We're walking past the cemetery.
And then I fell in.
Oh, your baby crying.
I fell
and I
into
told
the
her, I said, I
grave.
jumped
The
in.
goats
I
fell
said, I
on top
jumped in. It
of
was 10
me.
feet deep. And she fell in and hit her head.
Yeah.
And now I was holding
So
two goats
how
and
deep
Julie.
was it that you could climb in and out
It was
of
about
it?
4 feet.
Okay.
4 feet,
Okay.
5
it
feet,
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't 6
Yeah.
feet, but they couldn't get out.
It was
Right.
probably here
Yeah.
on me. Yeah.
Aw.
But the weirdest thing was that there was an open grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that weird? Just
Yeah, that
that
is.
by itself was kind of creepy. But
Right.
I have to say, there's nothing creepy about Anguilla. It's a beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful
Oh, I
island.
know some of those cemeteries in the islands are just so beautiful.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just
Have you
funky.
been to Hopetown?
Yes.
Okay, they have a beautiful cemetery there along the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's, and I always go to cemeteries around the world. The prettiest cemetery, bizarrely enough, the
Prettiest cemetery.
prettiest cemetery.
Oh, where would that be?
Weird topic.
Just in case
But
you're visiting there,
the
you want to go.
prettiest
Is it-
cemetery I ever saw in my life was actually in Malta.
Malta.
Yeah.
What made it
And
so pretty?
It was the actual monuments. A lot of the families had created these incredible lifelike monuments of the person
Of
that
the
passed
people.
away.
Wow.
And it was, I
Oh,
was
wow.
just breathtaking, you know?
Wow.
And I just kept walking around the cemetery taking photographs because I was like, I've never seen such a beautiful, and that people would go out of their way to actually make a statue
Yeah, but
of
did
their
they
loved
make a
one.
statue when they were younger, or did they make a statue? Because that's
Yeah.
I don't wanna
Nobody
remember-
wants to
nobody
be-
wants to
yeah.
remember when you get older. It's like
It was all different, but the most beautiful one I actually
certain age.
exactly.
the most beautiful one actually was
freeze me at 29.
exactly 17 I think. Yeah, no. So
it now.
the most beautiful one that I saw was actually it was almost like, if I can describe this correctly, it was obviously the woman who had passed away was an old woman, and she was sitting in a chair, and the son obviously had this made for her, and it was the son kneeling on one knee with his hands on her knee,
Wow.
and gazing up at her, and she was looking down at him, and it was a lifelike of the two of them, and I just thought, wow, what a tribute to your
Yeah.
mom.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was really
Yeah.
beautiful. So anyway, no more cemetery stories.
Okay.
Next topic.
Okay, what else? Okay, you spend most of your time here, but you
We
do
spend-
spend a lot of time in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
so you're
we
going down in
travel
the
a lot.
summertime?
We travel a lot in general.
No, this summer actually we're going to go to Bali.
Yeah, we're going to Bali.
We're going to go to Bali for 2 weeks.
We're gonna go.
Wow.
We're gonna go do. We're gonna do Ubud, Seminyak, and Uluwata.
Oh, boy. That sounds like
Good
fun.
thing you can
Yeah.
say that.
Have you been there before?
Uluwata.
I
I've
have
been to
not.
Bali.
No.
But-
You haven't.
yes.
Okay.
No, unless it's near Hoboken, I haven't.
No, but
And
but I'm
why
excited.
did you pick that for a place to go for your summer?
We just wanted to have a cool.
We were thinking about
beach.
Greece. We were thinking
We
about
were thinking about
Mykonos and
Greece,
Santorini,
yeah.
or there. And you know what? We wanted a little bit of a relaxation. We like to see things, and I know Mykonos in the summertime is very party oriented.
Yeah.
So not that we we don't want to have fun, but we also wanted to explore areas and see waterfalls. And it's our first anniversary.
Play with the monkeys, ride
Oh,
the
how
elephants.
fun.
Yeah, we wanted to have a bit of an adventure and be
Yeah.
able to do a little yoga, a little meditation, a little adventure, a little drinking, a little,
Yeah.
a little discoing, a little
partying.
surfing. Yeah, we wanted to try it all. Not that we know how to surf, but
just
you know,
hit a
we're going to
big
give
board
it a
and you
shot.
go,
Yeah. No, I love to longboard.
Yeah.
He hates it. I
I
love
have
it.
an enormous longboard. It's
I
yellow like
love
this
it.
dress. I mean, it's huge.
I brag about my longboard all the time.
I want you to know something. I went longboarding. I went longboarding with a couple of girlfriends a while ago, right at the same end of the street at Palmetto Park Road, where that path begins.
Yes. Was it surf up? Or was
No,
it?
it was.
That's the nice thing about longboarding. You don't have to have
glass.
the. Yeah.
It was glass, and I did the only time I ever did a sunrise paddleboard, and it was really
Oh.
wonderful because it was just
get
like
up early.
glass. I did actually. Funny enough, he says I don't, but when I have a
Oh,
mission and I want to catch the sunrise, or I want to walk, or I want to
Yeah.
do something like that, I will get up early to do it because it's just no better way to start your day. If I don't have a plan, I'm in bed. I'm not getting up. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you later.
And I'm up at 5 every
Oh,
day.
you're the
Sheets
early
back
bird.
over my head, and
I
he
wake
gets
up.
up.
I'm up at 5.
Yeah.
I don't need an alarm clock. I'm up.
You just wake
Yeah,
up.
no. It's too early. He's like a creature of
So
the
on
night.
a normal day, what do you do? If you're up at 5 and you sleep until 10?
I actually,
normal
not
day I
10.
wake up by 7:30.
Yeah. I usually, what I'll do is I'll nudge her a little bit.
Yeah.
7:30, I'll say it's time. It's time. Yeah, and she gets
Wake. Yeah. And I slowly crawl out of bed, reach for the coffee.
I know. I'm a coffee
and now we're
Yeah,
juicing.
right.
So now
Yeah.
you're reaching for the juice.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're juicing.
Yeah, we're
Are you
juicing.
making your own juice?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
now
with
we
one of those
started
machines
doing
that you
that.
put everything in?
Trying to be healthy.
Yeah.
Trying to lose weight.
There's so many trends around here now that
No, we're doing it for health reasons. It's not, and we're not.
I don't think either one of you needs to lose weight.
Well,
thank
you know
very
what?
much for
We're
saying
and we just joined, and I promised I would tell them because we actually took the class this morning.
Yeah.
And I really was hurting this morning. Miranda.
thank you.
What is it?
Thank
I love
you.
kickboxing.
You
We
did
started
kickboxing.
I Love Kickboxing, the six-week challenge in Boca, and we are on class 5.
Wow.
Class
How many
5.
classes a week do you do?
3.
3 to 4. It
Yeah,
depends
so we're in
because we go
second
every
week.
other day. So
That's the commitment.
Yeah, so we're in the second week, class 5, and I have to say that the first 20 minutes feel like army, like
It's
the
unbelievable.
military.
Yeah, my son was doing that in the summertime. He said it's an incredible workout, though.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
Well,
an
the
incredible
first 20
workout.
minutes will kill you.
After
Then
you
you're
get past
hitting.
wanting to
Then you're
throw
boxing.
up.
Then you're okay. Yeah.
Then you're kickboxing.
That's a good gym when people throw up outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few times where I start to bead and sweat, and it's not from sweating; it's from glands are watering.
I used to go to a
Oh.
dirt fitness. Remember Kelly's gym?
Yes,
Yeah.
Kelly
Yes.
Musa.
Yeah, and every now and then a new person
Yeah.
would throw up. They're like, see?
Yeah,
That's a
Kelly
good
give you a
gym.
mean workout. So will Miranda
Yes.
and the other people that I love kickboxing.
So when I was 20, in my 20s, early 20s,
Oh,
and
I remember this one, too.
I lived in downtown. I lived in Soho, and there was a club called the Pineapple Gym on Broadway and Houston.
Yeah.
And I would go work out there, and there was a young girl. Right, if you remember the old step machines, because I'm aging myself.
the ones that
but
had the
the ones
stairs.
that, and
The
and
real
stairs,
stairs that
yeah, the
fold
real
up and-
stairs.
yeah.
that would go.
Yes.
So I saw
a hot girl.
So I saw a
I
hot
really
girl.
wanted to
So I saw
impress
a hot girl on the step machine. So she's doing 100 flights. So she's going sideways, forwards, backwards.
Yeah, backwards.
So I go on.
Like it's the
so I go-
easiest thing in the world.
So I go on and I press 50, and I figure after 10, I'll do it sideways and forward. So after 10, I'm sitting there and I keep going, but I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna kill me. So I do the 50 flights, and when I get done, I stop and I start walking, and my heart's racing. I go to the front desk and I said, call an ambulance, I'm having a heart attack. I walked into the shower with all my clothes. Went into the shower with all my clothes, threw up all over the place. By the time they got there, I was okay. But I'm laying there like this with all my clothes on. All right,
Needless
with
to
the
say,
water
wait,
running.
he did not get a date.
No, she wasn't
Who
impressed.
hasn't passed out in a gym? I think that every gym I've been to, that's happened to people. And
She was not impressed. I didn't get the
She
date.
kind of laughed at him like, I don't think so, buddy. Yeah. Oh boy. But it's true. And you know what? I'd fallen off the exercise. I used to be super
oh yeah, you
faithful.
can go on YouTube and see a million of those.
And you fall off, and then when you try to get back on, man, it really kicks your butt.
Yes.
It's horrible. You feel like, what the hell was I thinking? To ever stop doing this, or to ever think I could
Ever
start
start.
it again? Yeah, it's brutal. But we're glad we're doing it. And now, 5th class in, the feelings of wanting to puke are a little less often.
Yeah.
Becoming fewer and less.
The first class,
further between.
we started doing the first 20 minutes. Julie looked at me halfway through the first 20 minutes. So she goes, why did I do this? What are you kidding? She looked at me, she goes, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And she didn't say it. There was no voice. It was just her face. I never saw her face look like that before. Why are we doing this?
Oh, I've done workouts where like, if this doesn't kill me, I'm going to be in great shape.
I know. Well, that's
what
the
we're-
goal.
Either die or I'm going to get
That's it. That's what it is. It's that we're both at an age where your metabolism changes, your body
Oh, I know.
changes, everything changes.
Tell me
so
about
if
it.
you don't, if we don't
You have to
try
adjust.
to stay right, and
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, and you got to work harder now and longer,
Right.
Or I don't know if it's longer,
I
but
don't know if you
smarter,
do longer. Yeah.
smarter.
Yeah.
And I haven't. Not smart enough. What that recipe is.
No, but that's the
I'm
thing
trying
about
to
Boca
figure it out.
Raton. I interview a lot of plastic surgeons and dermatologists on the show, and they say that to get the best result, they got to have people that are in really good shape to begin with.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Boca Raton, people really put in the effort.
Yes,
No
I
question.
agree. I agree. You have all
10
hot
gyms
bodies
per
floating around this
block.
city.
Yeah,
You do.
and the population is a little older.
Yeah.
So they really work hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the land of personal trainers.
Yeah, yeah.
And
One
yeah.
might say self-absorption, but that's okay.
No, that's true too. I got to tell you something. It's one thing to be ridiculously worried about your looks and be overcome with vanity.
Right.
It's a totally different thing to actually just want to age in a way that you could live long.
Right, and you feel good and you-
God,
and
I'll never
looking
forget
good
it.
comes with that.
I couldn't get over. I had first of all, my dad. Dan,
I met your dad.
Dan
Yeah,
the
he's
man.
great.
Dan the man.
Dan Gallardi.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dan.
My dad is like, he's like a walking conundrum through the city of Del. People look at him like, I don't understand. He's 85 years old.
He's 85?
85.
Oh, he's going to
I
be
didn't
so
know
mad
that.
at me for telling
He
you.
looks amazing.
He's 85.
He'll love you, he'll hate you.
I know. I'm sorry, Dad. But
No, there's no
he's
shit. No,
85,
we
and I
don't
got to tell you
tolerate, but-
something.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he's like
Younger.
67, and
That's what I thought.
And God bless him, he's younger than 67. His organs are younger than 67. His mind is younger than 67, and his body definitely
Mm-hmm.
is younger than 67. And he can still dance for 2 hours a day, walk the beach 5 miles.
love that.
Occasionally, we will walk together.
What's his
And he
secret?
just bursts out in a jog.
What's his secret
He
for?
says, you know what? If I stop, I'm gonna. I might as well die.
My
So-
grandfather, my Italian
so it's like,
grandfather,
so it's like, keep
my
going.
Italian
Yeah.
grandpa used to say, Junior, if you stop moving, you'll die. And my father
That's-
is a big believer
that's
that
true.
you continue to do as much as your body can handle,
Mm-hmm.
because the minute you get lazy, your body will succumb to the laziness, and you will not be able to do as much as you did
Right.
before, and you will give in to slowing down. And he doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that. And
Wow.
and I have to say that he's mentally as fit and as
I know. I was
positive.
talking to him.
And I think his secret, and I can honestly say this, is blueberries.
Blueberries.
Blueberries,
Oh, someone was just telling me
blackberries,
about blueberries.
and I've started to eat blueberries because
Does he
of him.
mix them with anything?
He
Yogurt or
does
anything?
blueberries with everything.
Why couldn't you say
And
pizza?
I know. He does blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, and fish. And his big key is, which unfortunately his 3 children follow our mother and not our father, is my father eats to live.
What
He
is
does not live to eat.
he eats to
He
live?
doesn't enjoy, like, he doesn't wake up and go, ooh, what am I going to have today? I think that burger sounds great. His body says, I'm feeling hunger.
I'll stop
and
somewhere
he
and pick
takes
something
a
up.
healthy choice, and he eats to satisfy the hunger. But he's not an eater.
So he'll
like
stop. He doesn't eat a lot.
He doesn't overeat, and he doesn't get all excited and go to a
He always
restaurant
gets
and order
little things.
25 things.
Yeah, that's the
which,
problem.
Which, unfortunately, the Gallardi name is associated with, thanks to my brothers, where we're eaters, where we get all excited
Yeah.
and we order everything on the
A friend
menu
of
and then
mine,
we stuff ourselves.
A friend of mine last night was telling me she went to a restaurant to order a cauliflower crust pizza because
Yes.
that's like the latest thing. Then I'm telling her, "Are you sure it was all cauliflower?" So she goes to like the website of the restaurant. She looks it up, and it's like loaded with flour too.
God, it's like,
You can't make
we
it without
had
the
a
flour.
little
she had
cauliflower.
even
Yeah.
more calories than if she had just had a regular
Exactly.
pizza.
Yeah, it's really hard today.
It
it's
is,
hard
but people
today.
are very conscientious about it, especially here.
Yeah.
about what they eat.
Yes.
Yeah,
what they
no.
consume.
And you know what? I think it's there's a billion trends that can happen to a society that
Oh,
really
absolutely.
are stupid.
Yes.
and wasteful.
So I wanna know what your dad's eating.
That's
He's
actually
eating
a good
berries?
trend.
What else is he
He eats
Berries,
berries,
fish.
and he eats fish, and he
Fish.
does eat sweets, but he doesn't. He doesn't
Overeat.
overindulge. He really just doesn't, and he gets exercise every
Every day.
single
He
day.
really exercises
Okay.
a lot.
He just does, and he
it's
doesn't
ama-
do anything.
It's amazing to see him. He sits with his phone, and no matter where he's going, I'll sit there. He just walked 3.5 miles.
He
I just
checks.
walked
He checks
2.7.
that
I
health
said,
thing on your iPhone. He checks and he makes sure that he does, a number of steps in a day that he feels like, or whether it's on the dance floor. He dances with Fred Astaire in Delray.
Oh, wow.
And he loves it, and he competes with them, and he has a ball. So he's traded off some of the walking and some of the little intermittent jogging for the dancing.
Yeah.
And then when he slows down with the dancing, he
Intermittent
picks up.
jogging at 85.
It's infrequent. It's not a frequent thing, but it still amazes me when he does it. But he just makes sure. And if it's raining outside, He doesn't say I'll skip a day. He calls me up or he calls us up. You guys want to go to the mall? I'm going to walk around the mall.
Yeah.
And he'll do something, but he always just makes sure that he's taking care of his heart, eats oatmeal. You know, he's just a really
I'm taking
good.
notes.
No, I am. I'm
Berries.
telling you, and it's only now at my next birthday. I will say my age.
You don't have to say your age if you don't want to.
I'll
Nobody around
say
here
it.
asks
I'm
for
going
age.
to be 50. So,
you look amazing.
so I'm going to.
I married older.
But for me, I'm only now really starting to actually monitor what he eats and go.
And say,
I
I gotta
better
do that.
actually
Yeah.
start to pay attention to this now
Yeah.
because I don't want to.
Great
we
role
lost
model.
my mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
8 years ago, and my mom passed away from lung cancer.
Oh,
and
that's tough.
God bless her. I love her and I miss her every single day. But she was not health conscious like my dad. And she, she was more like, she was funny. She wasn't a Gallardi. She married a Gallardi, but she was more like a Gallardi. So she, she really just got excited about yummy things and
Yeah.
she had a ball with it. And in the end, her body didn't take care of her.
Right.
And so I really think that there's something to what my father's doing. And,
Absolutely.
And I have to try and we both have to try and
Emulate
emulate
him,
that.
sure.
Yeah,
Of course.
for sure.
It's either that or I live by the Zellman credo. Live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse.
Yeah,
He does say that a lot. You shouldn't say that anymore.
I'm going to do different than you. I'm going to stop aging. So my mother was 33 until the day she died.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
She never
well,
said she
you're in
was
the
any
That's
right.
true.
You're in the right area for that.
Yeah.
I interview lots of
Yeah.
doctors around here. They're doing
That's
all
it.
sorts of cosmetic stuff, and I don't
There
believe
you
there's
go.
anything wrong with that.
So we're just
Nope.
going to delete
Yeah,
this
so you
whole
got-
episode. Forget I ever said my age, and now I will never be a
You
day
never
older
have
than
to-
today.
Nobody
Yep.
ages in this town.
Yeah, well, I'm
That's
married
it.
17 years older than me. I'm 33. And next year it'll be 18 years older.
That's it. No, I'm not aging anymore, so it'll always be 17. That's
no, but
it,
you look
baby.
great. But no, both of you look great, and that's
As do you.
Yeah.
As
Thank
do
you.
you.
Thank you.
And
Yes, you do.
and again, based on the topic of this last few minutes, that's not the important thing. The important
Right.
thing is that we all try to get healthy.
right, right.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're all trying to do.
And there's a lot of good people here in Boca Raton. I was talking to my last week's guest about that. People have a misconception about Boca people, and it's not true. Even though they are a little self-centered and
Find self-centered
Vain.
people everywhere.
Self-absorbed.
Vain.
They're still good
Vain's
people.
probably yeah, there's a lot of good people.
Yes.
It's like the New Yorker thing.
Right.
A lot of people that don't live in New York or never lived in New York have this misconception
Exactly.
that New Yorkers are hard. We're some of the nicest people in the
Yes.
United States.
under
Some of
that
the
hard
most-
exterior.
I got to tell you, some of the most authentic, really caring, drop everything and pick the person up off the floor to help out.
Right.
And call a spade when you do something wrong.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No,
you
you're
know,
absolutely right. I
yeah.
go between this coast and the west coast of Florida, and there's a big difference. No New Yorkers over there. They're all Midwesterners.
That's right.
Midwesterners, yeah.
That's
New
right.
Yorkers here. And the drivers here, they are giving you the finger and everything.
It's true.
It's a good thing.
Everybody's got a sort of an attitude. People over there are like, you guys are so rude. You're rude.
Because
Yeah.
they're Midwesterners
Yeah, but
versus
they're
New
very
Yorkers.
polite.
But what
I like
I've
to
learned
go
by
there
living
for that
here is
reason.
that the New Yorkers and New Jersey's are great people.
Yeah.
Underneath that harsh.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, so I lived in New
Okay,
York
we
City
gotta
for many, many
wrap it
years.
up here.
He's
Okay.
from New York.
Anything else you want to say before we go here?
Yes, come visit us at our new.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
You might not want to stop. Just stop by because I don't want to have 50 people just walking through the door
Right.
all the time. But you can call. You can come by. I mean, if we're
Absolutely.
love to show you around.
right.
And we're a neighbor now.
We're a new neighbor, exactly.
Okay.
And
All right. Well, I'm all about Boca Raton, so I'll be stopping by
I know
there.
that, Becky.
Yeah, Becky and
I'll-
Boca.
Becky and Boca.
I'll say this last thing. We're going to do a soft opening sometime over the summer, and then we're probably going to have a grand opening
Oh, let me know.
in the fall. So we will definitely let you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jewel and Steven Zellman.
Thank you, Becky.
Zellman Style Interiors.
Yes,
Say your name.
ZLMN.
ZLM.
You have been watching and listening to The Becky and Boca Show. Tune in every Thursday night at 6 p.m. to discover all the ways to spoil yourself and have a good time in beautiful Boca Raton. See you next week.
The opinions